continuing with our ground and pound series today. This one is going to be about knee on belly. We're going to revisit some of the positions we've covered previously and show you how to get a knee bar. Okay, I generally get into my knee on belly from side control. So I'm going to take a nice side control position here. And just as a note, like in the world of buggy chokes, knee on belly is amazing. So I kind of like to be low on the hips here. Some people like to be a little bit higher, like more actually on the belly. I kind of like to be a little lower so that I can control the hips. I'm going to start in this nice control position here, and I want to keep this arm isolated. That's really good for me because now I can grab, tuck my head, and I can start to go to work. Now as he reaches up to grab my arm, I can move this around and pin this here. So once again, I start punching, he starts to block. Makes it easy for me to pin this arm here. And I'm gonna slide my knee back up on top now. Now, I've got this arm is all I have to worry about in control. I can pin this over, go to work, pin it out here, go to work. It's gonna depend on what he gives me here. A lot of ground and pound is not so easy to structure because you never know the reaction that your opponent is gonna give you in any given time. So I can't say that, oh, when I do this, he's gonna do that. But the ground and pound with the knee on belly also prevents a lot of his being able to buck and move. So once again, when I'm here, he can't really bridge very well because my knee is pinned on him. So when I'm in this position, I'm gonna choose whether or not I give him any space. So as I keep this arm isolated, I reach up to punch. He's probably gonna do this every time. I'm gonna grab and pinch. I can come in here and I can go to work like this and continue to keep this here. Again, I don't have real strong punches from this position, but I have no defense, so that comes in good. If I want to get some strength in these punches, what I'm gonna need to do is give him enough space to get this frame in. And as he gets this frame in, I'm gonna reach up and pin this arm. And now I've got the ability to get my body into these punches and really get the work done. I also have elbows here, obviously. I've got a lot of choices from this position. And he is really gonna have to give up something in order to get out of it, if he can at all. So I can also sit up a little bit higher with both wrist controls here. Again, in this position, I don't have as much control of his body, but I do have a lot of space to drop some pretty vicious strikes. So number one, anytime I've got wrist control, I've got my elbows, right? So I can front and drop, and drop. And he's gonna start sticking this arm in to do that, and that's gonna give me a lot of the other stuff that we worked previously. I can start looking for my arm triangle control, where once again, I can go to work here with this arm. I can actually look for my arm triangle, or I can start to look for my knee bar. So when I start to look for my knee bar at a knee on belly, I'm looking for two controls, and we've already kind of covered those controls as far as ground and pound is concerned and knee bars, but I'm going to show you kind of how we're going to transition into them here. So it kind of depends on his reaction. If I'm sitting up nice and tall and I start to drop some punches, maybe I feel like I can start punching, he maybe is going to shrimp. And as he shrimps, I'm going to look to put my knee down on the mat and put in my knee cut, and I'm going to kind of come up to the sitting position here. So a little bit at speed, what that's going to look like. Maybe I'm boom, boom, he starts to move. I'm going to take this knee cut in here. Now I'm going to force this arm down, and he's probably going to close up his half guard here. So yes, I can start dropping my punches again, and like we covered before, I'm going to keep control of this arm. I'm going to sit back on this leg. I'm going to spin around, grab my Bendy control, Bendy lock, and finish my Kneebar. So when I'm in nice and tight here, if I can say I just want to go directly for my sub, I don't want to put any ground and pound in it at all. I can still, obviously. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly to my knee cut here. So I'm going to put my weight into my foot. I'm going to take the knee up and switch over at the same time. Again, he is probably going to close up this half guard because he doesn't want me to pass. So he's going to close that pretty tight. From here, maybe I'm going to soften him up a little bit to get that space. When we're in grappling, I kind of have to take this here and force this through, but that can be really hard with MMA gloves on. But the advantage I have with MMA gloves on is I can soften him up with a couple of punches, and he's going to start to move that control for me. So as I start to punch, he's going to move that control, and I'm going to be able to create this frame here underneath his chin, which is going to allow me to sit up and take my wrist control. From wrist control, again, I'm going to sit back on this leg. I'm going to spin around, reach down, grab my Bendy control. Maybe I've got to walk the hand down a little bit. put my knee in, throw my Bendy lock on, and finish my knee bar. My other option here is to move back to my 3/4 mount straight out of this nice tight position. You know, maybe I can work the ribs a little bit, probably not gonna do a whole lot of damage here, but might score me some points. I'm gonna slide this knee across and I'm gonna dig this foot in. And chances are good he's gonna come right here with this half guard, like he usually will do. And so once again, what I'm gonna do to get that is I'm just gonna start to soften him up with some punches on this side. That's gonna create enough space for me to get this frame in and clear myself up high. Now from here, I can go back to my knee cut, or I can just throw my hands onto this side of the mat here. I'm gonna step over and up and into my dry style position. Immediately looking to grip this Bendy control. I'm gonna put my knee in, I'm gonna throw my Bendy lock on, straighten the leg, and finish my knee bar. All right, we have one more great setup for a knee bar from knee on belly, and you can check out this video here. And if you like what we're doing here, please give us a subscribe and like the video so it can get out to more people. Thank you.